Welcome back to the Go to Go podcast, man. Episode 131, NBA Conference semifinals going on as we speak here Thursday, May 8th. Warriors T-Wolves right now. Warriors up 1-0. T-Wolves up 28-12 in the first quarter. No Steph Curry, obviously the big news in that series. We're going to recap some of our thoughts leading up to some of these games about midway through some of these series. Uh, Two games concluded at least in most of them. Um, Before we do that, man, I think we both had the Clips moving on, man. Sadly falling in their series um, in seven. So, what are your thoughts on LA before you think it's time for this core group between the Harden and the Kawhi, them to go in a different direction?
Well, I mean, at this point, Kawhi, he just signed the extension last offseason, I believe. Harden has a player option. He can opt in or opt out. Really not sure what to do there. I mean, it's literally up to James Harden. I mean, does he opt out for what, like a third time? He got, screwed over by Daryl Morey a couple times already. So maybe Baltimore doesn't do him dirty like that. But I mean, we'll see what James Harden does. But I mean, this is your guy, man. A tale as old as time. James Harden not coming through when it matters the most in the playoffs. Don't want to take anything away from Kawhi Leonard as well. He was a no-show in Game 7. That entire Clipper team just didn't come to play in Game 7 in Denver, and Jokic has pretty much been the best player all throughout the playoffs. I think I saw a stat saying he leads in every single major category, and then he's second in points. So he's first in assists, first in rebounds, and then he's second in assist, and I think he's also first in steals. So like Jokic just literally doing Jokic things, and we'll get into that, Nuggets team when we talk about their matchup with OKC. But yeah, the Clippers, they definitely seemed like the deeper team, but they just didn't have anyone that can match the level of Nikola Jokic. We saw Kawhi have that one really, really good game. It was that game two or three where he
Yeah,
like
where he
just
went
didn't miss at
crazy.
all from the mid range. Everyone was talking about prime Kawhi bag, 2019 Kawhi, and he did look vintage Kawhi, but wasn't able to sustain it over the entire series. James Harden was literally hot and cold. He showed up, he didn't, and then the role players stepped up big for the Nuggets. We saw Christian Brown hit some big shots. Aaron Gordon, obviously, with the tip in at the buzzer. That's going to be, a legacy moment for him. And Russell Westbrook, there's ups and downs, but it seemed in that series there were a lot more ups. So the Nuggets just played a lot more better team ball, and Clippers didn't show up to play, man. When it mattered the most, when they needed it in Game 7, they were just nowhere to be found.
Yeah, your boy Russ showed up in game one, making some big plays and some big spots. Obviously, the Aaron Gordon game winner in three against OKC, coming back from their deficit in that one against OKC to take game one and then dropping big time, I think last night, to the Thunder. Um, so that series tied up 1-1. I think the big stories coming out the East is the Celtics dropping to the New York Knicks at home at the Garden, um, while leading. I think I saw a stat they were leading 58 minutes it was like 60 or 70 minutes, maybe 60, and I think the Knicks have led for a total of 12 minutes this entire series. Yet they lead 2-0. You said fourth quarter. Brunson, last 2 minutes, he takes over the game. Saw some big stretches. Jason Tatum down the stretch, turning the ball over there, the last possession after going and getting a bucket downhill. The Knicks were able to respond with that Brunson foul, two free throws, able to cash game two on the road, and now they head back um, to New York and with the 2-0 lead. I think the Knicks might be knocking off the Celtics here. I could see a little fight from the Celtics, the deepest team in the league. Porzingis has been banged up and got banged up in game one with an quote unquote illness that he's been dealing with sort of all season. And then game two coming off the bench. So we'll see with Porzingis, but the Celtics are the deepest team. I wonder if, you know, some other guys step up. Derek White has played some pretty good ball. The Jalen Browns, does he step up, have his game? We'll see with the Celtics. I think they could make this series still go 6 or 7 easily, but I think this Knicks team they might have it. They got the momentum. Two on the road is a pretty big task. So
Yeah, my only concern with Boston is like I'm with you there. You always say like you say they're the deepest team, but like there's some real like concerns coming out of Boston right now. You mentioned Porzingis and that injury. He literally came off the bench last game. He hasn't looked 100% at all. Jaylen Brown's dealing with that knee injury he's had lingering. Tatum literally missed a game last series against the Magic with the wrist. I can't imagine that's 100%. Drew Holiday's been dealing with the hamstring as well. Luke Cornett missed a bunch of games like right before the playoffs with his ankle. Like this Celtics team isn't healthy. And you have 40-year-old Al Horford as well. You relying on him playing big minutes. Like after that, you look at guys that seem to be, quote unquote healthy, like Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, like not a lot of guys that you're expecting much from. So I do agree this Celtics team is deep, but it gets to a point where it's like you have so many guys that aren't 100%, and clearly it's showing. Like this Celtics team just they aren't playing to the Celtics standard that we're so used to seeing them play. And stat live by the three, die by the three, man. And game one shot 30%, the most missed threes in playoff history. I think they missed 40 threes, 41 threes or something like that. And then in game two, I think they shot 25% from the 3-point line. So you're just not gonna win games like that, especially against a New York team where if you shoot a bunch of threes, like the Knicks aren't a team that's gonna match your intensity. Like if you shoot a bunch of threes and shoot the Knicks out of the gym, like you're just gonna beat them. But if you're shooting those threes and you miss, the Knicks are gonna play their basketball. They're gonna get to their spots. They're gonna rely on their big wings, Mikal Bridges, OG, Josh Hart. They're gonna get to the rim, and then they're gonna let Jalen Brunson do what he has to do. Cat's gonna get his shots inside as well. So they're not gonna play that 5-out ball like we'll see Boston play, and you just see a shootout. The Knicks are gonna play their game regardless. So I think the Knicks have that going for them. When the Celtics are missing as many shots as they are, the Knicks don't have to worry about like keeping up scoring with Boston because Boston's hitting their shots. Yeah, I don't think the Knicks have any way to keep up with Boston, but they're not making their shots. And they're playing really good defense and they're able to get rebounds, get out in transition, like get these quick points and able to get to their spots and stuff. The game's close. Jalen Brunson, most clutch player for a reason. He seems to always turn up in the fourth quarter. And Mikal Bridges, game one and game two. He's had some really, really big fourth quarters. Big three in game one in the corner, and then he had 14 points in the fourth quarter last game in game two that, pretty much brought the Knicks back. Were able to elevate that team while Cat and Brunson were both out of the game. So that's huge to get some minutes from when, your two best players are on the bench. So I'm with you, man. I think the Knicks have control of this series. I could only imagine what games three and four are going to be like in New York and afterwards. And if they somehow win this series in New York, like
city's
shut the
getting
state
shut
down,
down.
shut the
Yeah.
city down, like it's going to be insane. But the Knicks are in a really good position to win the series. You win two games, literally up 20 points in the third quarter. Boston Celtics. I believe they were up, I think it was 75 to 55 and then 53 to 73 in both games. Boston was up 20 in at the end of the third quarter in both of these games and they just can't, finish the games. They can't hold on to these leads and it's just like it's so weird. Missoula doesn't call timeouts at all to stop the momentum, and then you just see like just step back, shot chuck three after three after three. It's like they don't even want to take a two. The one time in game two, Tatum decides to go downhill and get a 2-pointer. He literally blows by the entire defense, has the easiest dunk of his life. It's like you could have been doing that all game. You got to switch Mitchell Robinson, like you just step back three, chucking threes, Derek White three, Jalen Brown three. Like the shots aren't going in, but that's the Celtics basketball, man. You can't really blame them. They literally won them a championship last year, so it's looking like it might cost them one this year, though.
Yeah. Tatum went downhill a little bit too early. Knicks got the ball back. Obviously, Brunson got fouled with still time left on the clock. And you mentioned Missoula not calling those timeouts.
Well, he
Elected
didn't. It
not to.
wasn't too early. It wasn't too early because regardless, you were gonna get another possession.
It's 24.9. You could run it down pretty low. But
But then if you miss, you don't get another shot.
yeah, I mean, you really shouldn't have gotten another shot. But
No, but I'm
Brunson,
saying if you take that shot earlier, if you miss, you have another chance. If the Knicks miss again.
yeah, if you
Like
get the
you're in that
rebound.
position, you just want to score. Like I mean, bro, they were up 20 fucking start of the fourth, bro. They don't have the obligation or the right to be picking and choosing when they get to score. They need to score. They don't have that. Like you just need to go get a bucket when you can. At that point, shit.
Missoula not elected not to call the timeout though. Last possession of the game. Celtics had one remaining. They pushed the ball down court. And that play transpired of, Tatum getting two drawn on him. Good play by OG, getting a hand on the ball.
Mikhail.
Um, it was Mikal. Yeah, yeah, my
Yeah.
bad. Getting a hand
Um,
on the ball, wrapping it up. Go
Missoula
ahead.
doesn't call the timeout. He said because he wanted to keep Brunson on the floor for the defense, I mean, I understand that. You want to keep Jalen Brunson on the floor, you want to attack him, you want to find him. What I don't understand is like if that's the case, make sure your team is on the same page. Tatum literally got the switch on to Mitchell Robinson. It didn't matter if Jalen Brunson was on the floor or not. You didn't even attack him. Like, what are we doing? Like, if you're gonna just go at Mitchell Robinson, call the timeouts, get a set play, give your guys a quick breather, and then go out there and do something. But I mean, it doesn't matter if Jalen Brunson's gonna. You want to say he's gonna. We're gonna leave him on the floor when you don't even try to attack him. You don't even get to switch with him. You get to switch with Mitchell Robinson, and then you drive to the side where I mean, on either side, OG was going to be there or Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges happened to be on that side, but he didn't even attack Brunson. Tatum didn't even get the switch onto Brunson. So it's like, yeah, you want to keep him on the floor maybe for like a rebound or a tip pass or something. But I think if you're not going to call a timeout in that situation, you want to make sure that you guys know like the reason we didn't call this timeout is to go at this guy. So try to go at him, not get a 7 footer switched on you and try to shoot a fadeaway. Like, yeah, that was just bad basketball in my opinion.
Yeah, his feet were sliding too. Mitchell Robinson on that play, man, had it
Sitting in
locked
that
up.
chair.
I thought, yeah, I thought Tatum was gonna throw up a little three there.
I mean,
Um,
the last what 8 shots were, so it wouldn't surprise me.
no, that's why I was surprised he attacked the rim. But also coming out of the East, the number one seed, Cleveland Cavaliers, they're also choking games away. I think they had a 7 point lead, minute left or so
They
in
were
the
up like
game.
30 at one point.
Yeah, in the fourth quarter, up 7 minute left. Tech, costly turnovers, and just not good basketball, man. It's just sloppy basketball has cost them in game two. Some key players out. I think they had three guys. Mobley, and company was out in game two.
Hmm.
Donovan Mitchell trying to put that team on his back. Garland was out too.
Yeah,
Um,
and Hunter.
and Hunter. So those three all out in game two. Mitchell stepped up, but sloppy basketball down the stretch cost them. Undisciplined basketball getting the tech. And then obviously the big shot by Halliburton, to finish this game off. I think I saw some 10 for 11 on shots within 1 or 2 minutes while trailing to put him up ahead. He's been ice cold this year down the stretch as well. We talked about Brunson. I think Halliburton's, done it himself as well, just not to the magnitude that JB has. Now the Pacers sitting up 2-0 coming off, the road trip, and they head back home now. So it's gonna be interesting to see what this Cavs team does to respond against this Indiana team who the Cavs dominated pretty much early on in the year. I think they were like 30-2, some crazy stat. Clinched the one seed, and you drop two at home after just sweeping and dominating the Heat, um, early on in the playoffs.
If I'm the Cavs, I'm less concerned than I am if I'm Boston. The Cavs, Garland has not played yet in this series. And then you just mentioned, I talked about Boston being banged up. Well, at least they had guys and bodies on the court. Cavs were literally missing, what, 3 of their top 6 guys like in their rotation. So it's kind of hard to ask much for them. But you talked about it. Donovan Mitchell, insane. He had, I think, what, 48, something like that.
48, yep, 9 and
You
5.
just, you'd like to have some of the other guys step up and come along with the ride. Ty Jerome did not have a good game. Strus had a couple of highlight plays here and there, but wasn't really as consistent. But you just kind of run out of people. Jared Allen, he's not known for his scoring, more of a defensive rebounding guy. So outside of Donovan Mitchell, who just seemed like he was literally getting everything, he was getting every call. But down the stretch, I haven't seen like just a game just more given away to another team. The Pacers weren't playing good at all that game. Literally just were missing shots. could not get into their sets offensively. The offense just wasn't clicking at all. But down the stretch, you mentioned got a couple calls, got a couple shots to fall their way, and when it mattered the most, Halliburton with the dagger literally missed the free throw, grabbed his rebound, and then hit the big shot. So, I mean, a 4 point swing right there for Halliburton in a matter of seconds to give them the win, which is pretty nuts. But I mean, both of these, well, the game one, Pacers one was a little bit more commanding, but literally down three guys, you lose on that kind of play against the Pacers where you're pretty much underhanded. I'd be more confident if I'm Cleveland. Hopefully, you get some of those guys back, and this Pacers team can see a full Cleveland Cavaliers team that they haven't yet seen in the playoffs. Whereas Boston's pretty much done everything they could to try to beat that Knicks team. They've thrown all their punches, all, 80 of their 3 point shots they've taken in the past two games. They've done it all. So, I mean, if I'm the Cavs, I'm a little less concerned. You got a guy you feel like Donovan Mitchell who can be the best player in the series. That matters the most. And I think that'll be a really good series. I'd expect the Cavs to get one, maybe even two on the road here to tie the series back up. But on the other side in the East, I think there's a legit shot the Boston Celtics could get swept or, it goes five. But we'll see how it is. The East shaking up to be a lot more interesting than we thought. We had, going into the playoffs, you just like, oh, it's gonna be a walkover. We know this team, they're gonna pretty much win. Celtics, Cavs, we'll see them in the Eastern Conference Finals. Now they're both down 0-2 in the semifinals, and things have been shaking up a bit. So it's fun to watch basketball. It's fun to see how this playoff's been going. Underdogs have been cashing.
Fun to watch Boston lose, I would say, but you said 83s through two games. That
That's
number
yeah,
is
83 through one game. My fault.
no, they shot 60 in game one. They
Yeah,
shot 40 in game two. So make it 100 threes through two
100.
games.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
so
being generous.
talk, talk about shot checking for the Celtics. Yeah, I agree with you on the statement that the Cavs are in a better position than the Celtics. Um,
Also, that
but
environment, bro. Like, would you rather play game
oh,
three
in
down
Indiana, yeah, I
0-2
already
in
know.
Indiana or fucking Madison Square Garden, bro? Like,
Yeah, I'm taking Indiana. You also mentioned shutting the city down. As an Eagles fan, I don't think you should be talking about shutting cities down, but
no, that
um
this is something totally different, bro. Knicks basketball, like I understand Philly football is big, bro, but like the city of New York, like the biggest city in America, arguably one of the biggest cities in the world, not even arguably, like one of the biggest cities in the world, like all coming together for one basketball team, like it's gonna be insane.
yeah, it will. And then the only series haven't covered is that Nuggets Thunder where Nuggets were able to, clutch up game one, come back, the Aaron Gordon big shot, pass from your boy Russ on the fast break. He did play a little bit questionable basketball. Made the right play though when it came down to it. They were able to cash a bucket. Aaron Gordon once again, second game winner so far through these playoffs. He's proved clutch for the Nuggets. In game two, it was just all OKC. They didn't take their foot off the pedal. It was pure domination from that OKC team. Sort of like game one, they were up big, but this time they were just able to close out the Nuggets. And I think, yeah, Aaron Gordon played horribly. Michael Porter Jr. played horrible. Jokic probably had his worst game in the playoffs this far. And then you just get, guys like Shea playing good basketball, Jalen Williams playing good basketball. And OKC was able to steamroll throughout game two.
Yeah, the team I'd argue is the deepest in the league right now is OKC. They just got guys on like you can go six, seven, eight people down, and they can legitimately go get you a bucket. So I think they're up there, if not even better than Boston. But with the Denver Nuggets, they've literally gotten this far just based on how good Nikola Jokic is. Like, literally, that's it. It is just that simple. I mean, you look at everything else on that team. Aaron Gordon literally looks like he's playing with a shoulder pad on one of his, I think it's his left shoulder. He's banged up. Like, he literally can't take his own jersey off at the end of the game. He's definitely injured. Then you look at Aaron Gordon. He's been really good this playoffs. He's stepped up, made a couple big shots. And then your third or fourth option is you taking Westbrook, you taking Christian Brown. Like, where do we go from there? And I'm gonna just say this, bro. Whenever you have your third or fourth best player on your team sitting at the podium after games saying he is a coin flip, his play might be good, it might be bad, it
Who
just
said
is what it
that?
is, and you're gonna have to deal with it. Like that's just not a good look for your team. Who
Russ
do
said
you think
that?
said that? Who do you think said that? Westbrook, bro.
Yeah, he's like
Literally, he's
option
like,
number
oh, like I'm gonna
four.
go out there, I'm gonna give my all. He's like, it might be a turnover, it might be a three. Like, uh, that's just
See,
insane to have your
that's a good
third, fourth
player though.
best
He
player.
knows his game though, you know. You got to come to realization.
I mean, yeah, if that's like your sixth man, like, I understand that, but someone you're consistently relying on, and I'm not trying to take away from Russ. He's been playing really good these playoffs. He's stepped up. He's made some big shots when it mattered the most, and he's had some questionable plays, but overall he's been decent. But I just think just I mentioned the stats earlier with Jokic pretty much leading in every single major category. 40 and 20 in the first game, like pretty much just having his way in the paint. But yeah, game two it didn't matter. They just shot the Nuggets out of the gym. Kind of what Boston envisioned they can do to the Knicks. OKC just happened to hit their shots, and I think they have a player that's more than capable of getting his own shot anywhere on the court other than, Jason Tatum just relying on a step back three. You don't got to worry about that with SGA. He's definitely getting to the rack, getting to the line. He's going to get his points. He's not going to just sit there and settle for step back threes all game. So, yeah, OKC if they don't lose another game against the Denver Nuggets, I wouldn't be surprised. But Nuggets always seem to play really hard at home. That altitude seems to get some teams a little tired. We saw it looked like the Clippers kind of burnt out of gas, maybe due to the fatigue, due to that altitude. And this is the first time we've really seen this version of this OKC team really put to the test. Last year in the playoffs, we talked about it. They were a little too young. This was a stepping stone. It's going to get them ready for next season. This season, they pretty much just killed everybody. They played, had the best record. Wasn't really any competition. Round one, Memphis Grizzlies pretty much did everything they could to make that franchise like that first round playoff just historical in every wrong way. So I mean, it wasn't really a contest. They were up 30, lost, get blown out by 50. Like, just name a terrible way to lose. It happened to Memphis. So this is a real first test for this OKC team. I think it'll be a battle, but I mentioned their depth. They got guys like you go down Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, other Jalen Williams, like these guys that are coming in playing valuable minutes. Caruso coming off of the bench, having a big game one, even though they lost. Knocking down threes, a guy that's gonna hustle, throw bodies at those guys on the wing. And then you look at Jamal Murray, they just got just dudes they can send at him. And Chet and Hartenstein might not be the biggest guys, but they're just bodies that you can throw at Jokic to hopefully try to contain him. You're not gonna be able to stop him. So just the sheer number of really, really good basketball players on this OKC team might be enough to get, Denver out the way.
Yeah, SGA just two 3-point attempts in game two, so 11 from the line. So attacking the rim, getting downhill. Obviously, he gets to the line as much as, the best in the league, if not the most free throw attempts in the league. And it's funny, the Nuggets actually
I think he
shot.
was only behind Jokic, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, I would believe it. He's definitely up there when it comes to free throws, man. The memes don't lie. Nuggets 15 for 37, Thunder 16 for 36 from three in game two. So obviously the big difference, just overall field goal percentage and knocking down their free throws. I mean, they went 33 for 36 compared to 25 for 32. So that's a 78% versus 91% clip for the respective teams. So it's hitting their free throws and getting to the rack proved very well for OKC in game two. Um, you got any more games, any more takes, anything you like so far in these
We
playoffs?
didn't touch on the T-Wolves. You want to talk about
Oh yeah,
T-Wolves?
T-Wolves Warriors going on right now. Game one, they just play bad basketball. Frankly, to cut it short, they did not look like the Timberwolves you saw against that Lakers team. Not even close. Tonight they're up 19-37 right now. 5:56 left in the second. Obviously, no Curry. He didn't play much of game one. Buddy Hield, who had that big second half for Golden State, he's 1 for 6 right now. Jimmy Butler, 2 for 4. You kind of want to see him to get some more shot attempts. Um, I was watching a game early. Rudy Gobert was looking like a check dummy against Jimmy Butler. I think both his buckets were right on Gobert on a switch. So surprised they didn't go to that more. Um, but for the Warriors, it really comes down to guys like the Buddy Hields, Jimmy Butler. Can he go crazy, turn back that clock to the Miami Heat? Jimmy Butler, get them, in a competitive series till Curry gets reevaluated for game five. That's the real question mark. Can that defense stand up? Can Pods have a couple big spurts down the stretch in this series? Can Draymond be the anchor for this team? Right now, I mean, it's looking like it has to be Jimmy Butler because you're seeing the Buddy Hield effect, where he goes crazy and then he's almost unplayable, shooting himself out of the game, bad defense on his end. But if you're the Warriors, you just got to hang around. If you could get the series 2-2 um, through four, Curry reevaluated in game five, and maybe he comes back five or six. I think they're in decent shape, but this Timberwolves team just got to improve from what they did in game one. And so far, it looks like they have lazy ball from Julius Randle. I saw a little bit early in this game too. Just not hustling for rebounds, letting tip outs go, and just classic Julius Randle. So we'll see, man, if Ant can turn it up a notch too. He was balling last year in the conference finals, in the conference semifinals. So can they get that version of Ant and can Gobert be playable offensively on the court as well? Because I saw him catch two balls deep into the paint and kick out one and smoke a lay on the other. So
Sure, the Knicks are missing that Julius Randle play right now, huh? Like they wishing
ah,
they still had him.
I don't think so, man. I think they're happy with the way Cat has played.
But yeah, man, I'm with you. You pretty much covered exactly how this series is going. The Warriors stole game one. It feels like a win. Obviously, this Warriors team is just so different without Steph Curry. His gravity, his off-ball movement. He was low-key frying to start game one as well before
Yeah,
he went out. Think he had a couple points. So, um, says he'll be hopeful to come back game two, but we'll see if that happens. Or not game two in two games. So that'd be
yeah, game
game
five.
three or game five. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully he can come back. I mean, this Warriors team is definitely a lot better. It just makes for better basketball. But I agree. Timberwolves shot terrible in that first game. Could not hit a three. Anthony Edwards, I believe, had 1 point at halftime. Like they just didn't show up to play. So definitely nice to see them come out hot this first half against the Warriors in game two. But Curry's not there. You mentioned it. Are we going to be able to see Jimmy step up? What can we get offensively from Draymond? We know how good he is defensively. What can he bring on the other side of the ball? And then you're definitely going to need guys like, Gary Payton. You mentioned Podziemski, Buddy Hield. Can he be a little bit more consistent? We're going to have to see some of those guys, some of those role players step up. Moses Moody, do we see some more Kaminga minutes now that Curry's down? So
Yeah.
you're just gonna ask. You're asking a lot from guys that haven't really proven much. So I think it was really, really big. They got game one. They can kind of, like you mentioned, just hold on, make it 2-2, steal another one, make it feel like the series is 0-0 and Curry's back. I feel like those guys believe they have a shot, but if they're not able going to be able to compete, they're just going to get ran out the gym these couple games without Curry, just because they don't have the shooting or they don't have the offense to keep up with the Wolves, which I can see it could get ugly quick. So a tough, tough loss from Curry. It definitely would have been a bit different series if he was on the court, a lot more competitive. But so far, it's proven, outside of that second half without him, start this game, it's looking like it might not be as good.
Yeah, 13 minutes in game one, 5 for 9, 13 points from Curry. So yeah, he was definitely cooking up early in game one. You mentioned excuse me, Kuminga. Sorry, I had FTC in my head. I was thinking about that, but do
A
we
dub
see
pack.
more? Yeah, Dut pack. You copping? Are you going to Cali Cop?
Shout out Flight, man.
Yeah, 561. But it really comes down to that. Looking at right now, I mean, the Warriors have went deep into their bench early on in this game. I mean,
Little Quentin Post.
They've played they've played 13 guys. So besides Steph Curry, um Braxton Key didn't even know who he was. He's the only player that hasn't played a minute in this game. So they're going throwing everything out on the court.
Whoa, seen a little Kevin Knox already?
Yes, Kevin Knox. He's got 5 minutes. He's 0 for 1 with two boards. Um, that's a New York draft pull right there.
Yeah, I think Knicks miss him, huh? Lottery pick.
I think they missed that little Fortnite suit he was wearing
It's all he's
draft
gonna be
night.
remembered for. All he's gonna be remembered for.
It's that's just ridiculous. Yeah, so total opposite of Tibbs ball, Kerr's going for. And yeah, I like the memes of Kerr knew something about not playing Tatum in the Olympics that clearly is working out. So I'm always down with some Boston Celtics hate. Shout out Paul Pierce for walking to work too. I don't know if you saw that, but that was
Yeah,
pretty
bro.
funny.
Nigga definitely Uber, bro. I'm not even tripping. There's no way. 20 miles, fam. You got that shit.
But such
Fam, no one is walking 8 hours, bro, to work, bro. That's just not realistic. It's just not, bro. And it was killing him in the comments. They were saying he wasn't even sweating. Like first person to walk 20 miles and not sweat, like in a robe. Like, come on, bro.
you think
Obviously
I
he's
don't
not.
know. Their studio's got to be Cali, right? I guess.
Yeah, I think they were like in Cali or Vegas or something. I think it's Cali, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Cali, come on, bro. May in California. You know it's dumb hot, fam.
I went last month. It was kind of
Dry,
cold,
hella
but
dry.
uh, it probably is pretty dry right now. So yeah, it was funny regardless, man. Absolute comedy. They lost game two. Hopefully they get swept and we could send Boston home. But I'm down for whatever team beats Boston. That's what I'm rocking with. I'm rocking on Timberwolves beat Jimmy Butler out the playoffs. I'm down with that too. So I'm happy right now so far.
Pacers
But
knock off Max Drews.
nah, see, I like the Cavs a little bit, man. I gotta have a little love for Cleveland, even though I'm not a Cavs fan. Um, shout out Donovan Mitchell. He should have been a Miami Heat too. But
Giannis to the Heat.
yeah, we'll see about that, man. You know, if he goes, I'm copping a jersey. Like it's just, I don't
Yeah,
care
you
if
know
he's
the
there for.
Heat are just always gonna be linked to every
Whoa,
single big name that ever hits the like rumor market, bro. It just is
yeah.
what it
Too bad
is.
Sleepy Pat is still GM, so they need Lud GM back in Miami, and we could run it. But
Braun comes back to Miami on a vet minimum.
I'm down with it. I'm down. He could sign for whatever, man. I'll sign him. Dude, he'll probably want to bring back like Mario Chalmers and Michael Beasley though or something. But I'm down with that.
Chalmers, hell no.
Saw Jay
Bronny,
hooping in a little video. Yeah, Bronny. Um,
package deal.
I'm down with it. I mean, come on, man. We can't get any worse. So
I mean, that is true. Wasn't his player called like Davion Mitchell or whatever? You could learn from him, Bill.
who? Ronnie's.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. Davion Mitchell is probably the best trade piece in that whole package, man. Andrew Wiggins does not look like he wants to play basketball.
Yeah, Wiggins is cooked.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just a Wiggins thing or he just doesn't like Miami. One or the other. He's certainly shout out Caleb Williams out in Miami. I don't know if you saw that little off season
That
fun.
has nothing to do with Miami Heat basketball what we're talking about, bro. You just want to bring him up because he was with some snow bunnies, bro. It's literally the only reason.
No, bro, it's because the Heat culture doesn't allow that. That's why, I was sitting there thinking about it. Pat would not let that happen. Spo would not let that happen. Um,
Jaime says otherwise, but
yeah, no comment there, man. I Yeah, and he's played himself out of the rotation. I don't know. He wasn't that good either
rookie of
this
the year
year.
last year, right? Now he can't even see the floor.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't go after your coach's ex-wife. I mean, hey, Some people let the light get too bright. Stars are shining, man, and they start feeling themselves. And clearly he was.
Yeah, the Heat just have too many like mediocre players, bro. Like Jovic, Highsmith, like all these dudes fall in the same category, bro. Just like mid.
Yeah,
Jaime, like all these dudes, bro.
I'm not even throwing Jaime in there right now, man. He could get gone. Um,
Yeah, he's just
I'm ready to
mid.
throw inconsistent hero. He's basically a white buddy healed at this point. White
Nah,
buddy healed.
okay, who would you rather keep? Who would you rather build it on? Bam or Hero? Who would you rather
Bam.
keep? Yeah, nah, see, I'll keep Hero, bro.
I'm keeping Bam.
You already got Ware, that's your big. Bam
Yeah.
just, I feel like he never plays to like his size, pause. Like he's like a big dude, but he never want to like go down low
He's
and
six
bang.
foot
He always
nine,
want to just
bro.
shoot a little like floater or shoot a little midi. Like that should
He
be going
does
in,
play
don't get me
scared.
wrong,
I've been saying it since the bubble
but like he just
finals,
need to
bro.
go
He
to the
plays
frag,
scared.
bro.
He does get play a little scary. Yeah, but T Hero, he also both of them just play themselves out and they just do this to themselves, I think. But
Yeah, at least if Bam's offense isn't going, at least you know you got some solid defense.
defensively,
Hero, if his shot's not falling,
he
you
got
got guys
nothing
like
else.
Darius Garland saying he can't play defense.
Yeah, he wasn't lying, man. Well, that's gonna wrap up go episode 131. You got any last comments, takes?
Nah, playoff basketball is fun, man.
Yes, sir. Episode 131 go pod on TikTok, man. And until next week, we'll be back with another episode, man. Peace.